combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classes. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maat.
Peace and love, family. Welcome to another Truth to Power Talk with your sister, Dr. Maat. Thank you for joining another powerful discussion. And tonight, I have with me another powerful guest, but he is no stranger to the community. Brother Ankh West, Brother Ankh, the God Killer. How are you doing tonight, Brother Ankh?
I'm doing fine. Pleasure to be on this great platform. Absolutely.
Hey, Brother Ankh, it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. And I talk about you often on my platform. People who know me know that I got the exposure that I needed because of you. The first time that I got on Sinetta's platform, and I tell this story often, you gave up your time for me. You all were organizing the Kemetic War Conference, right? The Kemetic War Conference. Yep. And you kept telling Brother Sinetta, you said, I have a sister, brother, you know, that needs to be on this platform. He's like, nah, brother, I got all the people I need. And, you know, I got my show already together. He said, well, you said, well, look, I'm gonna give up some of my time. And so you said you gave up 20 minutes, and family, you can verify what I'm saying. It's all on YouTube. You gave up your time, Brother Ankh. And that was my introduction into, you know, the community. I got on stage, we rocked out, and we had a really, really good time. And so I will always appreciate you for that. And I always give you credit for introducing me to Pan-Africanism in a sense. Prior to meeting you, I heard of Naeem, Dr. Naeem Akbar. I was reading Garvey, you know, I was reading, you know, books like that. But it was you who said, hold on now, Doc, you know, let me introduce you to Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, you know, and people like that. And then you were also, Brother Ankh, and I can go on and on and on and on and on, but you also taught me to study science from an African-centered perspective through an African lens. So I always attribute you with removing my European lenses. And so I will forever be grateful to you, Brother Ankh. Thank you so much.
Same here. You put me where I needed to be at. People seem to be kind of afraid to kind of deal with me because I'm a little rough on the edges, they say, but I'm just a person that's in the community. And you as a professional, you know, just to mess with me could actually put your job on the line just based off of the way they viewed us prior to all the riots. Now they're trying to get people like me to talk to the community, people that's right there in it. So I appreciate you, you know, from the jump. We have an excellent friendship. It's been a while. We have our ups and downs, but I mean, people don't know you allow me to speak to your class, teach a class. Like, man, that's in a university. Like, really? So you, man, come on. You brought credibility to what I was doing, to what everybody was doing. One, you was a Black woman. Two, you was a powerful Black woman. And three, you was raised by a powerful, educated Black woman. And a powerful Black African powerful father. So you're just the fruits of what they did. And you brought that over to here. And you know, man, we love Meltrek around here. So that's the first thing I'm gonna shout out. Man, let's shout out to the animated lessons, man. Those animated lessons run hand in hand in what we was doing. And it just gave us credibility around the world. When that logo spun in the animated lessons, man, that meant something, man. That means children all around the world would look at that logo spinning and be like, well, what's that? And they can Google that and see and pop it up. So, man, it's been a hell of a, man, it's been a scientific, a doctoral, just talking to a doctor. I mean, how many people get a chance to talk to a professional doctor one-on-one? I mean, so look, you think you did something for me, man, hell, I think I did something for you. I didn't do nothing for you. You did something for me. I just want you to know that, Doc, and I appreciate you. And then I appreciate all your friends you introduced me to. All your friends you introduced me to, from your cousins to your mother, your aunts, your uncle. Man, they treat me like family from day one.
Yeah,
man, that's big, man. That's big. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we love you, Ankh. We do, and they're watching. My mother's watching, my auntie's watching, my cousins they're watching, and they know we love you to death. And family, please thumb up this video right now. Take some time, thumb up this video, okay? Also, share this video. Brother Ankh is going to be dropping a lot of information tonight. Please share this video. Help us get the information out. Sharon is Karen. Also, if you are watching this broadcast on Facebook, please take a moment to head on over to YouTube, type in Dr. Maat, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that as soon as I go live, you will be notified. And family, you don't have to worry about Dr. Maat. You're getting notifications from me every other day. I go live maybe once or twice a week. Also, if you missed any of my Truth to Power talks, be sure to head on over to my YouTube channel. Look for the playlist entitled Truth to Power Talk and get caught up on all of my discussions. And I brought on some powerful people. All right. So make sure that you go into the archives. All right. So before we get started with tonight's discussion, I want to read Brother Ankh's bio. We're going to start off with reading his bio. All right. Brother Ankh is an African-American educator of scientific literacy and the author of the Chronology of Human Evolution, Real Black Atheism Explained. He is the founder of Real Black Atheism, the Amun-Ra Squad, Pseudo Killers, and the Massey Warrior Clan, and Team Osiris, co-founder. Brother Ankh has been educating the Black community through scientific literacy for over 20 years. His unique approach to educating the public on the synergy between African history and science has gained him recognition on many podcasts, panel discussions, and scientific debates. In the past 5 years, Brother Ankh expanded his community building efforts and launched Abjuwear, a culturally reflective sneaker and apparel company, and invested in the Black Beat-Eye store and cultural center. Again, Brother Ankh, it's so nice to have you on the platform, brother. And this ain't gonna be your last time, family. We got so much that we could talk about, Brother Ankh. But before we do get started, I know tonight we're going to be talking about God, nature, and science. Is there a connection? But before we do, when I was reading your bio, I read the term real Black atheism. Can you explain that? You say you are the creator of Real Black Atheism. What is that concept? What is that ideology?
I basically wanted Black people to feel comfortable with not believing in the gods and goddesses that was downloaded to us during the transcontinental slave trade. It takes heart to fight against something that we have been force fed. You know, so when the Europeans came to Africa, we weren't Christian, Muslims, nor Jews. They colonized us. So we found a good Lord through colonization. And I'm not being funny, and I'm not even slapping around that good old-fashioned religion. I'm simply telling the truth. Mm-hmm. So I think all men and women have the ability and should be able to pray to and believe in whatever they want to believe in. But for African people, for us, it's mental. And so Real Black Atheism allows you to learn your story. Because if you really follow your story, the first thing gonna come to you, well, we wasn't praying to this and we wasn't praying to that. Well, what was we praying to? And then once you realize that, you start to feel kind of guilty because we was raised a certain way. We was raised Christians. And then when you get slick, then you practice Islam. So for me, I wanted the African Americans to take pride in their gods and goddesses that we gave to the world or that our ancestors coveted. And I felt like we need to be comfortable with who we are. That doesn't mean that you got to go practice an African religion. That simply means before you leave this earth, you should know that we had systems that predate anything European, anything Muslim, anything Christian, and anything Jewish. You should just know that. Now, whether you accept it or not, that's a different story. But as being a self-respecting African, you at least have to adhere to the rules and regulations of knowing who, what, where, and why. And all people need to know who, what, where, and why. That's all I'm saying, sis. So
hold up, brother.
Atheism is comfortable with being who you are.
Hold on, Brother Ankh. I got to get this up for you. I know that I'm going to be hitting this button a lot tonight, so I might as well just have it ready. You know, I might as well just have it ready. But thank you so much, Brother Ankh, for that explanation. So let's get right into it. And we have 69,000 people watching the broadcast. Family, continue to share the video. Why? You know, I got that from you, Brother Ankh. 69,000 people watching the broadcast. Family, please continue to share the video. I know tonight Brother Ankh is going to be dropping a lot of bombs, and I appreciate everyone who is in the building. So, Brother Ankh, I'm going to start off with my first question. Who or what is God? Who or what exactly is God? And like you said, Brother Ankh, most of us grew up in a Christian household. In this conversation tonight, family's not going to be beating up on Christians or none of that. But the reality is we've all been taught this idea of God. But who or what exactly, Brother Ankh, is God?
So we'll do this first. Okay, we'll start with wisdom and knowledge, right? And man, how did I lose the page that quick? So we'll just start right here. I think it's chapter 3. All right. Chapter 3 in the book entitled The Chemical Age, How Chemists Fought Famine and Disease, Killed Millions, and Changed Our Relationship with the Earth. Now, you remember your question you asked me, right?
Yes.
It says, in chapter 3, it's called Black Vomit. The story of black vomit, or yellow fever, mirrors the malaria. The disease arose in Africa where it thwarted European efforts and colonization. So right there, you see nature kind of slowed down the colonization of Africa. Okay. It traveled with the soldiers, merchants, colonists, and slaves to the New World, and then decimated the indigenous peoples of Americas. So we're talking about nature now. The greater immunity of African slaves increased their value, and hence yellow fever further entrenched the institution of slavery. So now political nature plays into politics. Yellow fever also shaped the political landscape of the New World colonies, perhaps best illustrated by its efforts on the nascent United States. So the question was, who and what is God? Let's do it like this. God is a cultural container of ideas and concepts that human beings create so that they can try to understand their natural world. Simple as that. That's why you have many gods. No matter where you go, you'll find gods. You'll find ancestral worship, or you'll find deities, gods, and goddesses. So God is simply an idea and a concept created by men and women to try to explain their natural world and the things that happen to them in their natural world.
Hold up. And that means you just kind of nailed it in like 2 sentences, you know. And so every culture has their idea or their concept of God. And so could you get into how we begin to practice the foreign ideas of God? Well, prior to that, what was our concept? How did African people perceive God before we get into how that changed? But how did we as African people perceive God?
We perceive the world as all Homo sapiens early on perceived the world. You're just trying to find your way. You're trying to know where you're at. There's no spaceships. There's no cars, no buses. There's no roads. There's nothing but you and nature in the raw. And you have to try to fight with nature, fight against nature, just survive. It was about survivability. And so we did the things that help us survive. And the things that worked, we did fight it. The things that didn't work, we still did fight it. It's part of our belief system. But God was always a way to try to figure out what's going on. And we call it the gaps, the God of the gaps. Meaning when you get to the point where you just don't know something, you fill that space. Human beings don't like empty spaces. So for the African, their ideas was based off a natural world. I mean, but what else was it? Natural world, things you've seen. Water, they deified water, right? They deified rivers. They deified trees. They deified the birds, the bees, the apples, everything. They were basically pantheists, meaning everything around them was on a grand scale. These early humans, Africans, they simply looked at their world and deified it. So you deify your woman, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. How important is a grandmother to the babies? How important is a mother and father? How important is the tree that grows fruit that you can pick to keep from starving? How important is the grains, the millet, the wheats? How important is the soil that give rise to the bird, to the trees? How important is that? How valuable is that? So things of value we deified. We deified ups and downs and ins and outs. We just deified it. Basically, that's what humans do. They deify things, spooky or not. So the early African did the thing that all humans did. As a matter of fact, from that way of life, gives rise and births to all religions on planet Earth. Remember, the first cultures start in Africa. There's no denying that. There's no debating that. The crucible of cultures take place in South Africa. Meaning where all these different ideas come together, and later on Africans would migrate out of Africa, and as they transform and migrate and evolve through their different environments for survivability, they take culture with them. So the base of all culture is African culture, the base of humanity. Everyone is African. How science explores the myth of race. So whenever you look at anybody, you're looking at a mutated African.
Hold up.
Say again. Whenever you look at anybody, Chinese, European.
I'm sorry, I had to drop a bomb on you, brother. But go ahead. You said whenever you look at Chinese, Asian, anybody,
European, Hindu, Japanese, Native American, Islanders, Australian, Russian, anybody, you're looking at a mutated African. Simple as that. Transformed in its environment for survivability. That process was also deified. So, we was deifying people. We deified everything because everything is everything. It's a relationship. It's a relationship with nature, right?
Absolutely.
So God started out as our relationship with nature.
Hold up, brother. Well, you just answered that question. You said, so everything starts, so there is a connection, obviously, now. I mean, now that you lay down that foundation between God and nature. So now, brother Ankh, let's throw in science. Okay, so we said God, nature, and science. Is there a connection? So now let's talk about the science, because in the community, there are an element, I don't want to say a group, but it's an element of people who believe that the science that you and I teach, that it's the white man's science. And so before we answer whether or not God, nature, and sciences are related, let's talk about that. Let's deal with that notion that science is an invention of Europeans. Let's deal with that first. So is there a such thing as the white man's science?
No, it's not. Science is levels to this thing here. And if you know anything about technology, engineering, if you know anything about that, nothing just pops up out of nowhere. So you don't have an intercontinental missile without the invention of an arrowhead. You have to first invent the arrowhead, the first stone tools. 350 million years. My fault. 3.5 million years in Kenya. Okay, you have to invent that first before you can get remotely close to an intercontinental missile or a rocket or a plane, a projectile. You have to invent, then you have to throw that arrowhead or throw that rock. Okay, you have to throw. Humans threw rocks at 100 miles an hour. That was one of the first weapons. Humans cut meat with these stone tools. Okay, then these stone tools, they modified them into arrow tips, and then they put shafts on them. And they threw them, spears. So a spear is your first design, aerodynamics. So then how do you propel that spear? You cut it down. becomes an arrow. You put a stone on the tip. Then what you do? You put a bow behind it. This predates anything. This predates cars, buses, trains, planes. But without that, you don't get that. And I think we have been miseducated to understand that. So science starts in Africa with the first tool makers 3.5 million years ago in Kenya. It's not hard. Those Africans had to find a way to manipulate nature that was trying to kill them. Nature kills you at the end of the day. It's not hard. It's very simple if you just take your time. So we had to find a way to stand up with nature, to understand nature, to not get on nature nerves too much, because nature kills you. That's why the majority of us dies. We die from nature. Our bodies can no longer stand up against gravity. Our bodies can no longer stand up against getting old. Our bones aren't as strong. We're not as quick. Animals could eat you because you're not moving as fast as you used to be. Like, man, it's real. And we misunderstand the whole thing. We think nature is our friend. Nature does not care about us at all. Nature simply kills things because out of death comes life. It's the cycle, and the African realized that, right? It's like the phoenix that dies into ashes, and out of the ashes, a new bird comes. This is the cycle of life. We understood that better than anybody. We understood that better than anybody. So by the time we get to European religion, okay, European religion denies the fact that you will die. See, if you know you will die, then you will fight for every day for freedom. If you know you will die. If you understand death and out of death comes life, then you will fight like hell to understand every moment. You will love everybody around you that need to be loved. You will understand your family members more. You will spend more time with your grandmother and your mother and them. What does it have to do with science? Well, we need to figure out if that makes sense. Science makes sense out of nature. Science is the knowing of nature, and religion is the believing of nature.
Hold on. You got to say that again. You got to say that one more time. Science is
how you know nature. Religion is to believe in nature. It's the first step. It's like an infant, right? An infant believes, and adults seek to know. So it's levels to it. And our ancestors understood it was levels to it. They got it right off like they knew that. They was like, man, okay, I believe that at a certain time of day, we can go down there and drink without animals being there because maybe it's too hot for the animals. I believe that. So you go down to the river and you get ate. Oh, that's the wrong time. Over time, through observations, you start to figure out what's the best time to do this, what's the best time to do that, what's the best grass to eat without dying. I believe that I can eat this plant and it will heal me. Or I believe I can eat this plant and it will do this and that. And you eat the plant and you die. Then you start to realize we can't eat that particular plant with those type of colors on it. You start to observe it. Science is observation. To observe to the point where you know. Science has always been crucial before the name science. Those who observed their natural world and learned from their natural world were those who had the ability to give birth to babies, valuable offspring that would give birth to other babies. Those who ignored the rules and regulations in nature died and never gave birth to valuable offspring.
So to study, so science is to like you said, to learn and to understand, the world around us, and in order to know and to also to fortify ourselves. So that right now, Brother Ankh, I'm thinking about when you just said nature will kill you. So right now we're battling with this coronavirus, and there are companies out here who are trying to come up with a vaccine. What are your thoughts about that, Brother Ankh? Do you think, what are your thoughts on that? Because there's a pushback from people who are saying, don't take the vaccine, don't take the vaccine. What are your thoughts on that, Brother Ankh? You know,
Ignorance. It's ignorant. It's really, and it's a shame because it's ignorant. It's ignorant white people. Black people been giving their babies vaccines forever, and ain't none of us died. And I always ask the question: how many people do you know? I'm asking you, Dr. Oyamaya. How many people do you know in Baltimore City, friends or family, that have been arrested based off of drugs? Do you know anybody?
I know a whole lot of folks. I know a whole 5 folks, including myself. How about that? So
How
I
about
mean,
that?
yeah, you know, it happens. I mean, it
Okay,
happens. Mhm.
okay. How many people do you know, friends or family, have been addicted to drugs and alcohol? Because alcohol is a drug. Huh?
I
Yeah, alcohol is a
I
drug.
know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people.
How many people do you know dropped out of high school?
I know maybe a handful. I know a handful of folks, but it's prevalent in Baltimore. I'm pretty sure my mother, who's watching, would say that yeah, she was a Baltimore City school principal, so she saw more of it than I did. But it was a lot of folks who dropped out of high school, and I've had some friends who dropped out.
How many people do you know that's died from drug overdoses?
Oh yeah, several.
Mhm. Died from drug overdose. So watch this. How many people do you know that's been shot or died by gun violence?
Oh, several. It's a common, we're from Baltimore. So it's a common, sadly, and not glorifying, but it's sadly, it's an everyday occurrence in Baltimore. They just found a sister shot dead in the head over there off of I think Sephoria, over there off of Liberty Heights and Garrison, in that area. So it happens every day in Baltimore City.
Okay. So we see stories like that on the news. So here's my question now. How many people on the news or in your family or friends died from a vaccine?
None. None. None.
So where in the hell are we getting this from? It's the misinformation campaign. It's ignorant white people promoting anti-vax. What is anti-vax? Where did the anti-vaccine community start? Right? It started in bloody old England and it ended up in the colony. Now, what was the white anti-vax community fighting against in the colony? They was fighting against African science. I'm gonna say this
Mm.
again. In the United States, what in particular was the anti-vaccine community fighting against? Excuse me, the European anti-vax community. They was fighting against African science and African genius.
Mm.
That's what
So
they
why
was
do you
fighting against.
so
Now, let me
explain that to yeah, about to say explain that. Explain that. Mhm.
so everybody in all the core families know Onesimus, West African slave. Okay, they're in the Americas. All right. And there's an outbreak about 1704 of smallpox. These Africans, as a matter of fact, African communities in the Americas understood, for the most part, inoculation because that's an African custom and tradition. That's high caliber medicine science. So Onesimus and them during this outbreak, everybody running around half crazy. They're not even worried about it. And so they slave master, and that he was, Christian preacher, Cotton Mathis, was like, well, how come y'all not afraid? Onesimus say, well, we had taken care of that in Africa. We got this procedure where we put a slit in the arm, we introduced a little bit of the smallpox there, and we got lifelong immunity. They was like, huh? He said, yeah, that's how we do it. And so Cotton Mathis, well-read individual, he started looking around and he found in different places, maybe in like China, certain places in India, like China had a thing of taking a smallpox scab and crushing it up and blowing it up the nose, right? That's dangerous, right? And
Mhm.
Constantinople, there's a Greek lady that claimed to have been inoculated, right? But right in front of his face, he's seen how it worked. And so he started to try to promote that. Here comes the anti-vax community. They was like, first of all, them slaves brought that. Why should we trust the slave? Why should we trust them? We don't believe those slaves. They're not human. Why would we listen to them? So that anti-vax community was pointed directly at African genius and high-level African medicine. So the roots of quote unquote what you would call anti-vax community is going straight up against African science and know-how. So 1703, 04, 05, right? Okay, it went down again. Cotton Mather, he writes to England, right? The Royal Society of Science. And he explains how, Cotton Mather explains how his slaves, Onesimus, had actually taught him this procedure in Africa and how he think it would work. So back in 1721, when the outbreak hit again, they decided to try this. Cotton Mather and I can't even think of the doctor's name. The doctor was from Harvard, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna try this with you. And they actually tried, they vaccinated, they inoculated their sons and daughters, and it worked. So watch this, y'all. This is the first case study of an outbreak and how a technique called inoculation, which is a precursor to vaccines, actually would work. So then they did the numbers. So when you got inoculated, 1 out of 40 people died. Those who didn't get inoculated, 1 out of 7 people died. Y'all can do the numbers. I'm going to say this again. When they inoculated people, 1 out of 40 died. Those who didn't get inoculated, 1 out of 7 died. So you would go to Thanksgiving dinner, 14 family members. The next year, 2, 3 of them be gone. Just like that. And so this is the first scientific case study in the world, and it comes out of the African genius. Edwin Jenner in England, 75 years later, invented what you would call a vaccine, using the smallpox pathogen and figured out how to, put it in the vaccine and put it in the needle. It's very interesting. And so, like I said, the foundation of science is just that. African culture, custom, and traditions is the foundation of science.
Hold up, Ankh. Woo! Oh my goodness. So there's no such thing as the white man's science. It's just science. It's just science. And so what do you said the stuff that's going around is misinformation regarding the vaccine. So brother Ankh, would you take the vaccine when one is ready? Will you take the vaccine?
Well, not only that, I tried to sign up for a trial, but the daggone trial, they want to hold you hostage for 2.5 years. I just couldn't do it. But the admirable thing to do would be for black people in the black community to sign up for trials. That's admirable. I mean, that shows your maturity as a community when you step out and say, man, I'm willing to sacrifice for these babies. How great is that? How great is that to sacrifice for the babies? So, of course, I would take the vaccine. Of course. Like, why wouldn't I? You stand a better chance of dying in a car crash than you do from a vaccine. So I'm going to say it again. There's a better chance of you dying from a car accident or walking across the street than dying from a vaccine. Vaccine science is the best medical science on planet Earth. Definitely the safest. Of course, I'm taking it. Now, our community has been duped. Come on, Doc. Man, you helped in the study for the debate.
Oh, yeah.
The slides. We debated the largest anti-vaccine community in the world before the virus came. I'm going to say this again. So people was kind of thinking I'm crazy. They always think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So this is December. This is before December. What, 2 months, 3 months before December, right?
Yes. Yep. Yes.
I get on this vaccine kick. What the hell are you doing? First person I call up is a SAR. Next person I call up is you. You already know how I do it.
I know how you get down.
Hey, that's how I get down. Because the SAR gonna run in a hole with me. That's what the SAR got my back on that. He be like, let's go. Then he'll slow me down and say, hold on, look, you need to do it this way. But he, that's what he do. And then I said, I always gotta call the doctor. Got to have the doctor there.
Yeah, you called me. You called me up.
So we got, who was it? It was me, Me, you,
Garfield came on. Garfield came on board.
Garfield came out of nowhere. He was admirable because you was going through something. Shout out to Mom Dukes.
Yes, mommy.
Mom Dukes thought you went. I was like, no, you can't go.
She sure did. She sure did. She came up out. She came up out of it. She said, "How was the debate?" That's the first thing she said when she could open her eyes. I said, "Mommy, I didn't go." She said, "You didn't go?" I said, "No, Mommy." So I was dealing with that situation. So you got folks who thought I ran. Remember, that was the rumor. I ran on the squad and left the squad hanging.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I didn't leave my brothers hanging." I was dealing with a family emergency with my mama. And brother Ankh, that comes before anything, So yeah, but you brought it home. But brother Ankh, you brought it home. You brought it home. You brought it home.
It was a win for our community because we was ahead of this. And I told him, I said, it's not a matter of if a pathogen is going to come. It's a matter of when. And I'm educating the family on vaccines so that when this moment came, we wouldn't be standing out there listening to a bunch of crazy white people. And I say crazy white people, and I mean that. I'm not talking about the intelligent white people. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the crazy white people that stood up in that room and swore us down that vaccines was dangerous and this and that. And I told them they was anti-African. And I said they anti-African, right? Because to be against science is anti-African.
Mm-hmm.
To be against vaccines is anti-African. It's anti-African because vaccine science is in West Africa.
Hold on.
The whole thing is just flipped. So my point is this.
Okay, go ahead, make your point. I was getting ready to drop a bomb.
The largest anti-vax group.
Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead. I can hear you. Brother Ankh, can you hear me? You froze a little bit. Yeah, I can hear you. Your screen is frozen, but I definitely can hear you. Oh, now I can see you. You're moving now. No, you're good now. So go ahead.
My point is our community, based off of the brothers and sisters that really love their community, we was 4 or 5 months ahead of all this. And if they would have paid attention, they would have been up on their game. Simple as that. It's not hard. We was already educating on the subject matter before anything from China came over here. We already was educating on viruses and vaccines and whatever harmful effects it would be. We taught all of that. Everything. Matter of fact, we even came to Baltimore and debated the subject.
Absolutely. I remember that with brother Baba Keaty, and it got heated in there that night. It got heated in there that night, brother Ankh. It got heated. Oh man, it got heated that night. But yeah, I remember. But like you said, we were already ahead of that. And we got to keep on pushing, brother Ankh, in spite of that, in spite of the pushback that we get in our community, we have to continue to push scientific literacy. Even though you got folks who run around here talking about how they believe and they follow the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Well, Marcus Garvey said that we need to raise up a generation of scientists, brother Ankh. I was wondering, did people forget that part? That's what he said. He said we need to raise up a generation of scientists. And when Liberia was going to give Marcus Garvey some land over there, the first group of people he took when he went over there to look at the land was engineers. And he advocated for scientific literacy. He called us the scientific, his exact words were, we were and brother Asar is in the building. So brother Asar, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he called us the weaker, we were the weaker we were the scientifically weaker race, something like that. That's what he called us. And he said, so we need to really put our energy into studying science. And so that came from the Honorable Marcus Garvey. But brother Ankh, let me ask you this question. What are your thoughts about African people who choose to practice African spiritual systems, Ifa, Voodoo, the Ankh system, Ma'at? What are your thoughts about that? Because you had folks, you were under attack, a while ago, or thought of as being less African. Remember all of that crap that was going on? So I want to ask you tonight, what are your thoughts about people who subscribe to those spiritual systems? Because when I talked to you about my initiation that took place about 3 or 4 weeks ago, you said something that was very, very profound. And so I want to kind of talk to you about that for a sec. What are your thoughts about people, who practice that?
It shows that they had conquered their mental fear. It shows that they have walking away from the white man's God. It shows heart. It shows that they love their ancestors more than the gods that their enemies gave them. It shows heart. Right, wrong, or indifferent. To honor your ancestors, to practice their customs and traditions, that's heart. I mean, we've been colonized mentally. The physical part we can get over. It's the mental part. It's the mentality that we carry on. It's like they downloaded their mentality in us, and we continue to have kids and teach them the same nonsense. So a generation of those who decide to practice African spirituality, that's a win. You can practice African spirituality and practice scientific literacy. Half of the scientists practice their religion. So that's a misnomer if someone's saying that. That's not a prerequisite whether you have a religion or not, whether you believe in God or not, to deal with scientific literacy. That's a misnomer, man. Let's get all the misnomers out of here. So I've always been an advocate of people believing and doing what they want to do. My personal thing is, I have gotten to the point where I just don't believe in gods and goddesses. Where I rather read African stories and take an approach to understand what the deity means. You feel me? Like
absolutely.
African storytelling are teaching tools for African developmental growth. Depending on what level you at, you can understand the myth. It's mythology. I don't know how else to put that. I'm not saying it didn't have beliefs, but storytelling is essential in African spirituality. Understanding what the deity is. Brother Sean, the Sahotep, the Master Clan Warriors, Kofi Pasai research team. These are families. Feel me? Like they do an excellent job of teaching what African spirituality is. So they say, well, you don't practice African spirituality. I say, man, practicing science is African spirituality. What you talking about? Food, clothing, and shelter, and protection of that food, clothing, and shelter, to me, is African spirituality. How more spiritual can you be to take care of your babies and raise them to the age of reproduction, right? To raise productive children. How more spiritual is that? To take care of your baby, to take responsibility, to stay with the woman and help her out in the nurturing and development of children. I don't see nothing more spiritual than that. So me personally, I don't need all the other stuff. I think I'm good.
Hold up. Woo! And guess what, Brother Ankh? If your spiritual practices don't provide you with food, clothing, and shelter and protection of that food, clothing, and shelter, then your spiritual practices are useless. They're useless.
Yeah, you don't got spirituality.
Yeah, you got spirituality.
If spirituality does not help you clothe yourself, shelter yourself, and protect yourself, then what do you really have? You got a bunch of malarkey.
Right. Exactly. I mean, exactly, Brother Ankh. And so, Brother Ankh, tell me about your book. In your bio, you mentioned that you are the author of, can you hold it up for me, Brother Ankh? There it is. The Chronology of Human Evolution. Can you tell me about this book, Brother Ankh? And tonight, keep holding it up. Brother, tonight, family, I'm going to be giving away 10 copies of Brother Ankh's book. All right, The Chronology of Human Evolution. All right, but what I need for you to do, family, is share this video. All right, you got to share this video. Once you share this video, inbox me, okay? Inbox me on Facebook under Dr. Maat or Dr. Deanna Bailey, okay? And say, I've shared the video and send me your address, okay? Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And if you have not liked my Facebook page, be sure to like my Facebook page. And once I've confirmed all of these things, I'll send you a copy of The Chronology of Human Evolution. So the first 10 people to do this will receive a copy. So anyway, Brother Ankh, please tell me what to expect, or what can readers expect to learn in your book, The Chronology of Human Evolution?
So, been highly motivated forever by the works of Dr. Ben. Because see, Dr. Ben didn't believe in God either. I'll never forget, they asked the question, do you believe in God? He was like, no. They say, well, okay, they try to ask him another way. Okay, well, Dr. What is God? He said, my mother. When he said that, it stunned me. I was like, what is he saying? And I walked around for 3 or 4 years just trying to figure out, why does that make so much sense? He said, my mother clothed me. She feed me. She sheltered me. She said, when I was born, I don't know about nobody but my mother first. I was like, why does that make so much sense? So my whole career, I've been trying to figure that out. And I figured it out. And when I figured it out, I was like, ha, I got him. I got him. I get it. And that motivated me. He has a book called The Chronology of the Bible. I suggest all Christians get that book. It's the same size as my book. Same size, right? I literally, that is the blueprint for this. The chronology of the Bible and the chronology of human evolution, they go hand in hand. In that book, he chronologizes the Bible, how it came into existence. You know what I mean? He give you African calendar systems and all that prior to the Hebrews. Okay, before their world starts at 4004 BCE. Our world starts at 300,000 BCE. And he chronologized that. Very good book, and he has questions and answers at the end of it. So my book does the same thing. The foundation of what we learn is evolution, because if you understand evolution, then you understand life. And if you understand life, then you understand the viruses. If you can understand the viruses, you can understand what's happening to you now. The most important thing during this time right now is to understand what's going on. We don't got to listen to the news. We don't got to do nothing. We can just go straight to our journals. Those who are really studied, those who know. These are free now. You can go to the Journal of Science, the Journal of Nature. You can actually go to the New England Journal of Medicine, and everything on coronavirus is free. Get your butts off the TV. Get your butts off of social media, not unless you in the Amadaye Squad group and following the families. Shout out to MBK, following the families. Read they're giving you the information free. Don't talk to me about something you got off of this. Don't talk to me about something. I don't want to hear it. Talk to me about things you got in these journals. Talk to me about that. This is where we should be getting our information, because these are the journals that the scientists actually publish that information. Simple as that. And so the chronology of human evolution is teaching people how life, once it gets to Earth, how it diversifies and how all life on Earth is connected and how it's so diverse. So what is the answer to the question? Why is it that life on Earth is so diversified but yet connected? And human evolution actually explains that. So we understand viruses because viruses evolve.
Absolutely.
And to understand that viruses evolve, then your medicine has to be evolutionary minded. And if your medicine is evolutionary minded, then you can deal with the coronavirus. You just can. So why would I lead my people astray? Why wouldn't I teach my people about evolution? Because if you learn about evolution, then you can study where you come from. It's essential for humans to understand where they come from and where they at and where they're going. Because if you don't know where you at, you don't know where you come from. And if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where the hell you're going. This is essential. And evolution, I always felt like that knowing where I came from was the first step in moving forward out of the oppression that has been put on us. I felt that. And once I learned how to, so you say, yeah, we come from Africa. I believe that. But then you discount evolution. Evolution actually tells the story of where Africans come from. So evolution is really an African story about African hominids and African apes. That's the story of evolution. Homo sapiens sapien. So evolution is the story. Biological human evolution is the story. And so people talk about Charles Darwin. Man, I rocked with Charles Darwin. I learned about Charles Darwin and the black man and now his family. I learned that from Dr. Ben. But we got African thinkers that predate Charles Darwin. Al-Jahid, he's a black Muslim, Ethiopian. Okay? He wrote encyclopedia, a 7-volume set, the Book of Animals, and he's talking about evolution. You can go back to the Nile Valley. Wait, watch this. What I tell you about is deifying everything. They deified evolution in the Nile Valley. They deified it, kept it as a symbol of transformation and evolving. So we understood there's a transformation to nature. We understood that. And so we understand that we must change and evolve with the situations around us. So now we're in the space age. I love Iron Age and Stone Age religion, but now we got to bring it forward, and we got to be in the space age.
No, absolutely.
So I'm an African. I'm a space age African. I'm looking at Elon Musk and what he's doing. Okay, he's an adventurer. The first people to venture out anywhere was Africans. What happened to that? What happened to our ability to dream and bring those dreams to fruition? Sorry to say it, but you could drink the thing that make the Homo sapien, although we're animals, the thing that make us better than the rest of those animals, when I say better, is the ability to dream and bring that dream into fruition. You can't bring your dreams into fruition with religion. You can only do that with science.
Oh, hold on. Woo. Oh my goodness. Brother Ankh. I knew you were going to drop some bombs. Family, I want to get this book to you. Again, let me type in my name. All right, because I know some people say, well, Dr. Maat, I can't get you on Facebook. I can't. Okay, so I'm giving you both my Facebook names. All right. These are my Facebook names, guys. All right. I want to get the book to you. All right. I want to get this book to you. All right. Chronology of Human Evolution. Please inbox me. Well, first of all, share the video. Okay. Like this video. Share this video. Like my Facebook page. Then inbox me your shipping address. And please, guys, full names and full shipping address. Sometimes, Brother Ankh, I got to figure out people writing things. I got to figure out what they didn't wrote. Spell it out for me, okay? Your name, your street. If you live in an apartment, put your telephone number, city, right? State, and zip code. All right. Give it all to me. Your full address, your shipping address, and I will get this book out to you. All right. These are my Facebook names, Dr. Maat and also Deanna Bailey. Be sure to hit me up, okay, so that I can get this book to you. Brother Ankh, I know we winded down. I have about 7 minutes left. I do see in the chat people going back and forth. You didn't started a riot in the chat. People were talking about, it's a brother 3M. He's like, they're weaponizing vaccines, and the Africans didn't weaponize vaccines. And so they're battling in the chat. And, the Masi warrior clan and the pseudo killers, they're on deck. So they're battling brother 3M. But I like it. I love the dialogue and the healthy exchange, guys. It's all good. It's all good. So they going back and forth in the deck. I mean, sorry, in the chat. Yeah, they're going back and forth in the chat.
So I wonder what technology they have that'll be able to separate, like, how do you know who they're giving the vaccine to? What self-respecting mother would allow their own people to kill their babies? Are you saying they have a technology that stops when it's given to a white person and activates when it's given to a black person? Is he saying that? They're not weaponizing vaccines. He is the tool and the instrument of racism, white supremacy in the chat room. He has weaponized it with his own mind. He has made it this. He is placing fear in the hearts of our people. Man, we smart enough to read and write, man. Like, you can't keep that a secret. Weaponize vaccines for what? Man, listen, man. These people trying to get back to work, man. People trying to go back around their mothers and their fathers and families and their grandmothers, man. We trying to be free, man.
Absolutely. And Brother Ankh, my mom just put this in the chat, and my auntie says she agrees. My mother said, why don't you two stop? She said, we are trying to enjoy the show. Take it offline. Opinions, everyone has them. Hold on, let me drop a bomb for my mother. Let me drop a bomb for her. I wholeheartedly agree with my mama, my mother, my queen mother, and my queen aunt. They have spoken. So hold on. Let me make my mother a moderator. Let me click on her name to make her a moderator. How do I make her a moderator, Aunt? Where I have to go?
Oh, the two dots, the three dots was to the right side of her name.
Okay. I'm getting ready to make her and my aunt. Oh, I only said it says put user in timeout. So I think I have to do it from my YouTube page. So what I'm gonna do is make my mother and my aunt a moderator so that they on a channel so they could just start kicking people out. But go ahead, Brother Ankh. I know it's about 4 or 5 minutes left on the show. Brother Ankh, do you have any closing words for the listening audience? I mean, we can still rock out if it's some other, some stuff you want to say. Yeah, we can still rock out.
Yeah,
but I just want
folks in here first. I would like to do this first. The first lesson, and I ain't got no more. Is the animated lessons. Mel Trey. All right, so that's my first. I don't have none. I sold them all. You know how we do. So that's the first one. Mel Trey's animated. You don't got one beside you nowhere?
It's in Mr. Jalen's room. It's in Mr. Jalen's room.
Jalen, go get that, Jalen. Go get that.
Look, he's not home, but go ahead, Brother Ankh. He's not home.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go Illusion Wild. All right. Brother Saul check. The Amadaye squad. All right. That homework. Understanding African custom and traditions. Right here. Yep. Religion and Philosophy, Volume 2. Great book right here. All right. Let's come to the Mossy Clan Warrior. Let's go Killmonger's Corner. Conscious Community. Pan-African Journal. Brother Ben. Mossy Clan Warrior. All right. Let's come to the Spears of the Mossy. Mossy Warrior Clan presents the Spears of the Mossy by the Kofi Pasa research team. Boy, I be messing up Kofi. I know he be like, man. All right. Let's keep rocking. All right. Mossy Warrior presents From Spears to Pen, an historical survey, The Minds of African Warriors, Scholar 2, Volume 2, by Kofi Pasa research team. All right. You see, I'm giving all the families work. All right,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Let me see. Boom, boom. I already gave y'all Dr. Ben's work. I would always start with that. All right. Amadaye Squad Manual. Evolution, science, everything in here. All right.
Brother Ankh, I think I had the PDF of that. I need a hard copy. I didn't know you had a hard copy on deck. I got to get a hard copy of that.
And then we got Sean's work, and Kofi's work. Children books.
Yes.
All right. We on that. And then we got so much work. And then let's come into the Europeans for a minute. We ain't gonna shade them. All right. The Chemical Age. The book. This for the vegans that think they can escape through veganism. So who brought veganism to the United States? The white boys did. The pseudo white boys, as a matter of fact. Give me some African nations that was vegans. This is about healthy diet and eating clean. When I say eating clean, we need to stay away from processed foods.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we definitely do. I do agree with that. That we gotta. Yeah, that's what I'm in the process of doing. Shout out to my auntie watching. We on a 30-day no meat, no processed foods, no dairy. Just trying to cleanse. But please continue, Brother Ankh. Deadliest enemy.
Yep. Michael Osterholm, PhD. Okay, man, he called this pandemic way before it came. So we was reading this, we was up on that. We already understood because science is predictive. All right. David Archer, The New Cosmos, easy read. So these books I'm showing you now, come out of the pseudo killers libraries for sure. This for your moms and them. Right here, your aunts and them is Christians, right here. The language of God. A scientist presents evidence for belief, the language of God. Just go read that. Francis Collins.
I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab that one.
It's for moms and them. That's definitely for them. Weird Earth. You know, it destroys all the flat earth claims and all the hollow earth and all that nonsense. We need a good book to beat up the flat earth. Here you go.
And it's a lot of that online.
It's all that. You got to fortify your libraries. Here you go. Apollo's Arrow. The profound and enduring impact of coronavirus on the way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one of my favorites. Bill Nye. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get him on the show, communicating with his team, and they said, yeah, we'll get him on. I haven't heard from Bill yet.
Gotta keep fighting.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep fighting and try to get him on this platform. The undeniable evolution, science, and what was the subtitle? What was the rest of the subtitle, brother?
Evolution and science and the science of creation.
Excellent.
Here's one of my favorites. Vaccines did not cause Rachel's autism. Okay, Peter Hotez.
That's another one.
I was reading this book. They ain't even know about him. Now they need him now. Remember, he was studying the first coronaviruses. Top-notch work right here. Lucy, The Beginnings of Humankind, How Our Oldest Human Ancestors Was Discovered and Who She Was, by Donald Johnson.
Lucy.
Australopithecus.
Yes.
Australopithecine. Dr. Ben talks about that. Ethiopia. Okay. Absolutely. So that's just some works. So I just wanted here's another one. Steven Pinker, Enlightenment and How the case for science, reasoning, humanism, and progress.
Steven Pinker. Steven Pinker.
And then last but not least, come with this, Giza in the Pyramids, Mark Lanier. Wow, so this is a great book right here.
Yeah, I need to grab that. I definitely need to grab that.
Sure, it gives you the evolution of the pyramids, the whole, man, yeah, just archaeology. All right, it's like an archaeological survey. You know, that's what I love to do. I like books on archaeology. You know what I'm saying? It's the book for your kid. Let them run through the book, read it. Yeah, it's serious work right here. All right. So yeah, the conversation was grand there, Dr. Oyamaya, and I really appreciate you. And I ain't forget. Begin this introduction to the meta lecture. And shout out to Smash Rockwell's in this book, The Handbook of the Conscious Community. I only got that. I done sold all them. I gotta get some more for this. This is this Wuja's work right here. I'm a Raw Squad official. So to let your audience know, we got families, man. We got the pseudo killers, the Amara Squad, Kofi Pasai research team. All right. Did I say the Mossy Warriors? I ain't say the Mossy Warriors. Did I say the Mossy Warriors?
I don't think you said Mossy.
Mossy Warriors. All right. We got the MBK. Right. There's one more floating. The Amara Squad. We'll leave them out. Can't leave that out. That's So, you know, these are families where you can get proper information with proper methodology, and we don't cut no cards. And everybody on the teams love Africa. It's just that simple. The pseudo killers, plain and simple, the pseudo killers, all of us are non-believers on the pseudo killers. You would have to ask everybody else where they falling at. But you know, I always say, everybody, none of y'all don't believe.
You do say that. You was like, none of y'all. You all keep saying that. None of y'all. You've been saying that.
Y'all just trying to be nice. I'm just gonna add that. I ain't gonna argue with That could be a comment.
Oh man, well, brother Ankh, I do appreciate you as always. For first of all, let me drop a bomb for you. Brother Ankh, I'm telling you, I always appreciate our discussions. Over the year, you've helped me grow. And they say iron sharpens iron. And so, I would come at you and I would talk to you. You say, I don't know about that. We be going back, we going back and forth, debating, arguing. I mean, the whole nine. But I do appreciate, all of the work you put in over the years. You're teaching evolution, pushing scientific literacy, pushing the love of Africa, African history, African culture. And so, Brother Ankh, I appreciate that. I salute you for that. And I look forward to more discussions with you. So you got to come back on, Brother Ankh. And we got to tackle some more topics. I remember back in the day, you and I were doing the Sunday school. Every Sunday we had the Sunday school lessons. And so you've been saying for a while that we got to resurrect that we meet on Sundays and we had the Sunday school lessons. So we definitely have to revive that show. So again, I thank you, Brother Ankh, for coming on. All right, family who's listening, thank you so much to everyone who shared the video, everyone who commented, in the chat. I do appreciate your presence and I do appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, Dr. Maat. Be sure to click the notification bell so that as soon as I go live, you will be notified. All right, family, again, inbox me, share this video, send me your shipping address so that I can get 10 copies of Brother Ankh. Brother Ankh, you hold it up one last time. His book, The Chronology of Human Evolution. Brother Ankh, throw your book up one more time. Hold it up for me. Family, I'm going to get 10 copies. And Brother Ankh and I talked about this offline before the show started. He's going to send me 10 copies of The Chronology of Human Evolution. All right, he's going to send them to me. But what I need you to do is 1, thumb up this video, 2, subscribe to my channel, 3, share this video. Once you share this video on Facebook, be sure to inbox me your shipping address and I'll go and I'll check to make sure that you did all of these things. I'll make sure you did all of these things. Brother Ankh, we got 99,000 people watching the show. 99,000 people watching the show. Family, thank you so much for joining us. Brother Ankh, any last
real quick,
word?
Doc, can I say something real quick, Doc?
Please do.
Hey, look, we great rev up the pseudo killers, man. Make sure y'all go over there. After y'all subscribe and like the video, as soon as this is over, we're going, we jumping on the pseudo killers, man. We're gonna be talking about some of the effects on the vaccines. They just put that paperwork in, and so what things went on with the trials they had, the human trials they had, and we're gonna talk about that. Okay, so yeah, man, make sure y'all pop over to the pseudo killers after this.
And that's right after this, right? That's right after this, Brother Ankh.
Yep. Sure is.
All right, family. All right, you heard him. As a matter of fact, have someone drop the link in the chat so that people can just, shoot on over, head on over to the show. So if someone could drop that in the chat, drop the link in the chat, Brother Sean P. All right, Brother Ankh, we're going to get on out here. All right, family, I love you. I'll be back here next Saturday, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Let's combat and fight back with maltraction. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classes. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maat.